welcome to the Ollie and Bella podcast. My name is Cherie and this is episode 18. I have another fun episode full of lots of fun things to chat to you about, to show you. I've got a nice lot of finished objects which I'm excited to show you. I've got some whips to chat to you about, some happy mail. I'm going to chat to you about some books, and I'm really excited to chat to you about the new KAL that we're going to be doing. So grab a drink, grab a snack, grab your knitting or crochet, or maybe you are doing a boring job but you need a little bit of company. Maybe you're doing something like ironing, which, if you know me by now, is something that is so boring. So maybe you're doing something that's quite boring and you need a bit of company. So it's so lovely to have you here today. Just want to say a big welcome back and thank you so much. I have managed to answer a few questions and replied to quite a few comments. I'm still working through, I think I'm kind of like 3/4 of the way there, but if there's anything that you want to ask, please feel free to pop it down in the comments, and I will endeavour to get back to you. It's just so lovely to read your comments and see them pop up, and it's really lovely when I see you interact with one another. It's really nice, and the book recommendations are fab. I've been adding them onto my Goodreads list. If it's something that I think I'd be interested in, I go and search on there and read a little bit about it and then think, oh yeah, I'd be really interested in that. So that's really lovely to read. And so many of you are really into your reading and into your books, which is great. But it's just lovely to see a comment pop up. So thank you so much if you take the time to give me a thumbs up, if you leave a comment, if you subscribe. Yeah, thank you. And whilst I'm saying my thank yous, I just wanted to say I don't think I've ever mentioned it on here. I don't think I have. But if you have bought me a coffee, I'll leave a link. There's normally a link down below in the description box. I always call it a coffee, but I think I don't know if you pronounce it Kofi, but I always say like a coffee. And it's just another way of supporting me, my channel, if you enjoy the videos that I put up. And a few of you recently have done that. And I just wanted to say a big thank you to you. That's really kind. And I guess I need to say, oh, and now I'm looking at my notes, so I'm really sorry if I keep looking down here. It's because I've got things written down, because everything I chat to you about, there's no way I can remember all of it. And, oh, I've gone off track now. Oh, I've got there, thank you, over 7,000 subscribers. It's just amazing. Can't believe how many new subscribers have been coming over, and it might be that you found me through another podcast, and it's always really lovely when I read a comment and it says, if you're new to the channel, and it might be that you've come across from another podcast, please, if you have, let me know what podcast it is, because it's always lovely to find new podcasts, new people to follow. That's really nice as well, so thank you. And you're all so lovely and so kind, and it really means a lot. And I know you probably hear that from a lot of people, but it actually really does. And you don't know how somebody might be feeling one day, and to read one of your comments, even if it's just really enjoyed your video, thank you so much, something like that, you know, it really can make a difference to your day. So thank you. And I guess I better tell you where you can find me. So at the minute, you can find me here. You can also find me on Ravelry, and I've now set up an email for the podcast. So if you'd like to get in touch, you can email me. I'll pop it on the screen, and again, I will pop my details down below. Obviously leave a comment down below if you have a question, but if you want to email me, you can. And also, if you would like to donate a prize for the podcast, that would be fantastic. And again, you can comment. No, sorry, you can drop me an email. That would be the best way of getting hold of me. If you would like to, maybe you're a bag maker, yarn dyer, pattern designer, that'd be great. You can send me an email. And I think that's it for that little section. And anything I chat about, I will try my best to pop it down in the description box. If I forget anything or I leave anything out, again, just drop me an email or leave a comment, and I will try my best to edit the show notes and change that for you. And I think that's it. We shouldn't have any interruptions today. Well, I say we shouldn't. You might hear the cats later. But the only other thing that might be might be picked up on the sound is the sound of the road outside, because it's been really horrible rain here. What a surprise. And so it's just a little bit noisy when the cars drive by on the road, so apologies for that if it's irritating. I hope it isn't. And that's it. I think I'm just going to get stuck right. Yeah, let's chat about current whips. Let's do that. I'm just going to have a sip of my tea. Oh, and I've made sure I've put my candle a little bit further away from me, because somebody commented saying they were worried I was going to catch myself on fire. It looks like it's really close to me, but this one is a little bit further away than when I had my candle next to me the last episode, but it isn't actually nowhere. I'd have to lean over to it, so don't worry. Okay, so first up, I've got written down there granny stripe, but I think my first thing I'm going to show you is, and this is actually living in a new project bag that I've recently made. This is some fabric. I've had this fabric for a while actually. It's an Amy Butler fabric, and I had a fat quarter bundle years and years ago, and I made one of these bags for a friend, and I had enough left that I can this size bag, I can get 2 bags out of 1 fat quarter. And so I've made it now, and it was for my friend Nikki, who has the Sheep in Cheerful podcast. And we are knitting, so I did share this yarn on the previous episode, but you've not seen it knit up yet. Let me reach down into my podcast basket, which, let me show you, it's a bit full. It's always full. This, oh, someone's coming now. Hi, Maisie. Oh, here's the podcast basket. So normally, everything that I want to chat to you about is normally in this basket. And it is a big basket, as you can see. And I try to keep everything in there, and it just makes it easier for me to remember what to show you. So, living in this new bag that I've made is my socks, and I've already done one, so you get to see how beautiful the yarn is. So this is like I think we called it our share a pair, because we were both watching Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady, her podcast, and who is excited for sock camp. If you've not heard of sock camp, and maybe you're new to knitting, or you've never knitted socks before and you'd like to have a go, again, I will leave all the information down below, but pop over to Kay's podcast, because she's going to be, I think she's going to be uploading some new tutorials soon. But on there, she shares the most wonderful socks that she knits with her friend, and they call them a share a pair. So we decided to go, well, I think it was my turn to pick, and I really wanted to try this beautiful yarn from a homespun house. It is absolutely beautiful. And this is in the colourway Wildflower. So pretty. That's Molly's label. And this is on her Plump Merino, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It feels so squidgy and so soft. It's an absolute dream to work with. Yeah, so I finished one. I didn't want the leg to be too long. And then I used this contrasting colour, which Nikki picked out, and she did a fantastic job. She's really good at putting colours together. And this is by Hugh Local. And this is on her Phyllis sock, and it's Grandma's Lilacs. This is a 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon. And I think the two of them together are fantastic. And so you've seen the first one that I've done. This is the second one. Are you going to come and say hi, Maisie? Maisie? There. So I've done the cuff, I've done the first section, and now I'm working on that one. What's the matter? Are you going to say hi? What are you going to do? Want to go up there? Oh, right. Maisie's gone now. She'll probably be back again in a minute. And now I've forgotten what I was talking about. What I've already said. I think I'd shown you that one, hadn't I? I said that I finished my first one. I didn't want to do a long leg on this one. And I've started my second one. And I've done the cuff. I've gone for a 1x1 rib, which is not something I usually do, but just changing things. And I've done the first section. I'm now back onto the Wildflower section. Just striped the yarn here a little bit, and then the main foot is in the Wildflower yarn. And I really fancied having a go at doing a heel flap and gusset again, because I've not done one for such a long time. And this is a slip stitch heel, and I would have to say this is my favourite heel. I've done I think it's called Eye of Partridge, and it creates a lovely texture, but for me, I think you can't beat a slip stitch heel. I just think they look really neat, and they're really simple to do, and they're my favourite for like a heel flap. Yeah, and they fit really nice, really nice. So that's my first whip. Put that back in here, and this is a little DPN cozy that I made, and this fabric is also Amy Butler, and it was from the same fat quarter pack that I bought many years ago. Let's pop all that back in there. So that's kind of like a half finished object. They'll be done by the next episode. Next up is another pair of socks, and these are living in this one. Originally, I was going to use this project bag for these, but realised I needed something a little bit bigger. But I'm still using this bag for a different project. It's really lovely. Do you, out of interest, do you ever knit on the go? Because I know a lot of people, they'll something like this is really handy, isn't it, with a wrist strap, which means they can knit if they are. I don't think I could knit and walk. Don't think I could do that. I'm quite clumsy, and I think that would be really dangerous for me to knit and walk. I would probably end up impaling myself on a knitting needle or something. It wouldn't be good. But having said that, if you were, I don't know, making a cup of tea or a coffee, or you're maybe making some lunch or some dinner, it might be that you've got it there and you're doing it. But I couldn't literally like walk down the end of the road and be knitting. I don't think I could do that. In here is another sock project. and I'm doing another little knit along with a friend, and we are knitting with this lovely gorgeous yarn. Look, oh, I think I showed this one on the episode, the previous one. This is Snowsuits, and this is by Herbs to Black Regina. I am so sorry, I cannot pronounce that, but I think you know what I mean, what I'm trying to say. And it's beautiful. This yarn is absolutely stunning to work with, to knit. I really like how the stitches are defined, they look neat. I much prefer a plumper yarn when it comes to knitting, especially socks. Some of the yarn that I have, I think I've said this, some of the 4-ply I have with socks just feels so thin, and I don't think the stitches look as neat, they don't look as nice. Whereas this, I just want to knit on these socks. Look at them. So I'm using this one. I think this one is called Brown Eggs Are a Hit. And this is a really pretty colour. It's browns. There's like a hint of plum in there. It's really lovely. So I'm going to use this one for the cuff. Again, I've done a 1x1 rib for the cuff. Not sure if that's enough for heels. It might be enough for toes. But they are the two that I'm going to use. And they're absolutely, like I say, a joy to knit on. So much so that I don't think this is probably something that a lot of sock knitters do, but I'm interested in knitting a pair of socks on a sport weight yarn, because I'm almost sure, if I've got it correct, that you have the 4-ply fingering. It's obviously the most common weight yarn to knit socks on, and then in terms of different yarn weights building up to like a thicker, bigger yarn, it's then a sport weight and then a DK. I'm almost sure a sport weight is a little bit finer than a DK weight. And this, again, I know I said it last time, it just feels so plump. It definitely feels thicker than a 4-ply yarn, even though this is a 4-ply yarn. So I'd be really interested to knit a pair of sport weight socks, because you can get sport weight that has nylon in it. So I'm really thinking about hunting down some sport weight yarn with nylon in, and I'd really like to knit a pair of socks out of them. I'd also like to knit some socks out of some DK yarn as well, because I think that would be really nice. And I'm knitting these on 2.5s, and they are on higher sharps, and I'm still absolutely loving them. I haven't got any holes in my fingers. I know a few of you commented to say that you can't use them, and then I think some of you had even said that you wrap tape around your finger to kind of like add a little bit of protection, which is a really good idea. So I've got them living in that one. So that's 2 sock whips. And then my granny stripe. So I really wanted to spend, I wanted to be able to show you quite a, find my words. I wanted to be able to say, look how much I've spent on my granny stripe. But guess what? I haven't. And that is because I've been busy trying to finish a particular whip, which I have, and I will share that with you in a bit. But just so you can see that I have added some, not a lot, but some. So I think I was on this blue one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Doesn't look a lot, does it? 8. What's really lovely about when you make a blanket, And if you've made blankets, you will know exactly what I mean. When it gets to a particular size, it keeps you warm when you're working on it, and it's lovely. It's really, really nice. And I've reached that point. So now that I've finished a particular project, I'm hoping that I can carve out some time, because this is such a fun project. It's lovely, really enjoying it. So that's my granny stripe. Pop that back in. Oops, the bag got caught on the tripod. Oh, talking of bags, I had another question about project bags, and yeah, I love project bags. Who doesn't love a project bag? I mean, come on, what's not to love? And I think it's nice to have different size project bags for different projects. Some bags, you know, like these bags here and these bags that I make, the lining in this one is real fine, like a thin lining, so it means you can literally scrunch it up, which I really like. So that if you are going anywhere away for the day, or you're well, not you driving, but say you're going in the car, it can you can scrunch it down quite small. It can go in a bag. So these type of project bags are great for that. But then also I love other project bags that are drawstring. I like zipped project bags. Bags that have pockets in are always really handy. So that you can put things like your scissors, stitch markers, progress keepers, like a little pencil, a little notepad. So I find project bags that have pockets in are really helpful. I think that's it. I think another thing, project bags, it's lovely if you enjoy fabrics, different colours. It might be that some project bags you have are seasonal, so you might have some Christmas ones, some Halloween ones, some summer ones, some winter ones, and again, it's nice to use them depending on what time of the year it is as well. So I'm sure I'm not the only one who has a love for project bags, and whilst I've got project bags, can't beat getting a new project bag. It's exciting. It's exciting, isn't it? Right, so let's move on to another whip. Now, there's hardly anything on this one, and you'll see that now. I've only done one complete square. This is my patchwork square, my Rainbow Chronicles one, and I'm on the green row, which is for May. You can see I've only done one, which is this really pretty green. Really, really pretty. And I am now adding in this one. And it shouldn't take me long to get them done, because all it is 10 in a row. And I've got all my yarns ready. It's just a case of making one, and I can easily do one of an evening. I kind of like just take my time. There's no need to rush, but if I wanted to, I could probably manage two. And what I try to do, as soon as I've finished one, even if I think to myself I'm not gonna then sit and finish the second one, I'll always get it ready. So I'll finish the square, I'll find the next yarn that I'm going to add in, and then I will literally add in the yarn. I'll pick up the stitches, I'll add it in, and I'll just do one row. And then when I'm then ready to pick it up again and work the next square, I don't need to worry about picking up the stitches. It's all done. I can literally pick it up and start knitting it. And that's what I do on all of them. And to make it really neat, I didn't start off doing it this way, but I've definitely done it on this row. The previous row is another little tip that I got from Kay, was to knit on the first stitch, so the first stitch of every row you knit through the back loop, and then the last stitch you slip with the yarn in front. So you knit through the back loop on the first stitch, and then you knit, you come to the last stitch, you put the yarn in front, and then you slip that stitch. And by doing that, it means that you get, it's not going to work on this one because that's the edge there, but you get a really you get a really nice neat edge where the stitches are like V's. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick that up, but basically you'll see the stitch and it'll look like a V, and you'll see the top of it, the two loops, two legs. And then when it comes to pick up the stitches to add in your new yarn, you'll be able to see it really easily, and you'll be able to put your needle underneath both stitches, if that makes sense. Rather than trying to work out, you can pick it in between the garter rows and the ridges, which is fine, and that's what I did for the first 2.5 rows. But then once I learned about that little tip of doing it that way, I think it just makes such a difference. And the back is really neat, really neat. So I'm happy that I'm doing it that way now. So that is that one. That will probably, most likely, that row will be done next time I show it. And I think that's all that I'm going to chat to you about for, let's have a look, what's the time? That's all I'm going to chat to you about for projects at the minute, I think. Yeah. Moving on now, I'm going to show you my finished objects, and I'm really chuffed that I've got these done. So first up are my Liberty lace socks that I finished, and this is a pattern by Bex, and Bex has the Bex Creates podcast. Again, I will leave all the details down below. And this was a test knit, and I finished them, and they are beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. The lace is a really, really simple lace. It looks really intricate and deep. It is an intricate lace, but what I'm trying to say is it looks like it would be tricky, and it really, really isn't. If you've never attempted a lace sock, do not be put off by this, because it's literally a 4-row repeat, and it's beautiful. You could definitely do it. If you can knit and purl, you can definitely do this. So the lace runs down the whole front of the sock, and then I was going to say probably my favourite bit, but looking at the lace again, I do really love that pattern. But I love this on the back. So this is on the back of the leg. It doesn't obviously run onto the foot, but this is what this is the little detail. It reminds me of 2 plaits. It looks, it looks like 2 plaits. And then for the heel, I've done a afterthought heel, although I did it before, my before heel. And then the toes I've done differently. I did a rounded toe, and they fit lovely. They fit really nicely. And this yarn was by the Wool Barn, and this was really beautiful yarn to work with. And I knit these on DPNs, and Bex has very kindly offered 2 copies of her pattern as a giveaway. So thank you so much, Bex. I think I'm going to keep them for our hat KAL. So I will move on to that in a minute and chat to you about that KAL. So that's my first finished object. Next up is another pair of socks, and I've got these on some sock blockers to show you. And these are the Kia socks, and this is a pattern by Dawn Henderson. It's a free pattern, and you can find this one on Ravelry, and you can also find Bex's pattern on Ravelry as well. I'll leave links down below. I love knitting these. the yarn is such a fun colourway. It was a one of a kind by Snuggly Stars Yarns, and it's such a joy to work with. And then I did again, afterthought heel. I used the Kirby Werby tutorial. Again, I'll pop a link down below. I did a 2x2 twisted rib. And again, I didn't want a really long leg, so I just did them short. And they fit really nicely, and these are for me. So I've done them. And let me leave that to last. So this is the project that I've basically spent the last week or so trying to get done. I've not blocked it, I've not sewn the ends in, but it's done. I finished it. I have finished the hollows finally, and I am so thrilled with it. The edge, the bind off, the picot bind off is so worth it. It's so pretty. Let's see if I can try and hold it up to show you. Love it. It feels so soft, so snuggly. It's really long, and it's not the full size. So I decided to finish it. I can't remember how many rows off I decided to like stop, because I felt I was done with it. As much as I absolutely love it, and I do love it, and I will wear it, and it's a good size. So it's not as if I've cut it short where I can't wear it. It's not wearable. It is so wearable. It's a really good size. But I'm just glad that I decided to stop when I did, because I just wanted to finish it and get it done. Partly because there's just lots of things I want to make and spend time on. And like I say, it's a good size for me. Obviously I need to block it, but it feels so soft. I still have this amount of yarn left. This is just bare natural 4-ply gold stellina yarn, and then I dyed this mohair myself, and this is how much I got left, which you know what I'm going to use that for now, don't you? I've got mohair stuck to me. What else can I say? I think I ended up with about roughly just over 350 stitches on my needles when it came to doing the binding off. But yes, I am happy, really, really happy. All you're doing is knitting and purling, apart from when you come to the eyelet sections. Now, on a couple of occasions when I have worked on this of an evening and I'm doing an eyelet section, if you're not concentrating properly, you can miscount, and you get to the end and you count your stitches, and then it's really frustrating when you don't end up with the number of stitches which the pattern says you should have, and then you go back and you try to look where you've gone wrong, and then you have to rip back, and that happened, I would say, a few times. Not all the time, but it did happen a few times. So I got really good at making sure that I kept a little tally. Sometimes it's good to have a piece of paper and a pen in your project bag, just so you can keep track of what row you're on, what number of stitches you should have. But I did really enjoy knitting it. It is a lovely, lovely shawl, and it will definitely get lots and lots of wear. If I'm honest with you, it's cold enough now where I could still wear this, and I will do once I've blocked it. I just hope I can block. I'm not one for blocking. I don't have anything fancy. I do not have fancy blocking pins. I do not have blocking mats. I don't. Basically got a towel and some pins, and that's all I'm going to use. The only thing is, just a bit concerned because it's meant to be straight along the top, and then this edge here is meant to be curved. But if you look at it, it's kind of like just going to have to really stretch that out, hopefully. But if it doesn't, I'm not gonna worry about it, because at the end of the day, it looks lovely and it's going around my neck. Nobody's gonna look at that and think, Sheree did a bad job. She did a bad job trying to block that shawl out. The blocking police are not going to be knocking at the door, I'm sure. Just don't tell anybody, okay? And if the blocking goes really bad, I just won't show you on the next podcast. Final finished object. And I think I have some stray strands lingering around, but I finished my first Simple Pleasures hat, and this is a free pattern by Pearl Soho. And so many of you, I mentioned it kind of just on a whim, really. I was showing this on the previous episode and said, oh, that would make a really lovely knit along, because it's a free pattern and it uses 4-ply fingering weight yarn, which I know lots of you already have, and it uses mohair. And I just thought it'd be a really fun knit along, and lots of you replied down in the comments on the previous episode saying that you would love to do it. So we are going to 100% do a knit along. I'll chat to you about that in a minute. But this is going to be for myself, and the yarn I used is this beautiful yarn here. Is by Stevie of the Created Yarn Company. And this is Stevie's tag, and this is on Stevie's platinum sock base. It's 75% merino. It's on Stevie's platinum sock, 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, and it's in the colourway Bronze Age. I couldn't find it last time. This is what I've got left. I love this yarn so much. It's such a gorgeous yarn. And Stevie has very kindly offered a discount for all you lovely subscribers. And so if you pop across again, I will pop a link to Stevie's Etsy shop down below. And I'll also pop it in the details over on the Ravelry thread. But if you pop over to Stevie's Etsy shop, you can get yourself 10% off. If you pop in the discount code Ollie and Bella 10, and that will apply to her yarns. You won't be able to use that on kits, clubs or dyed to order, but you'll be able to get it off all the other yarns as well. And she has so many beautiful tonal yarns over there that will make perfect hats. So thank you, Stevie, for that really kind offer. And she's going to run it for quite a while, actually. I think she's going to run it for about a month, which is brilliant. So so pop across and have a look. She has some really lovely, like I say, some gorgeous yarns over there. She's got a real beautiful plum yarn. It's like, I can't remember the name of the colourway now. It's like a plummy colour. That's really pretty. And then this colour here is this mohair is mohair which I dyed myself, and I tried to dye it so that it would complement Bronze Age, and I think I did an okay job. And that is what you can see on top. And I think the way that you kind of incorporate the mohair just into the top part is fantastic. And this is what it looks like. So you're basically knitting a rib, a 2x2 rib. So if you can knit and you can purl, you can do this hat. It's the most, hence the name, it's the most simple hat ever. So you hold the 4-ply double. Look, all my ends are popping out the bottom now. You hold the yarn double, and how I did that was when I wound this one up on my ball winder, I then when I came to knit this section here, I pulled one of the ends through the center, and then I took the other end from around the actual yarn itself, and that's how I did it. And then depending on what size you knit, so I knitted the adult small size. You then knit for however long it tells you to knit, and then you cut only one of the strands. then that's when you pick up the mohair. And this is such a great project. Maybe you've got some mohair in your stash that you've bought, but you're just not sure what to do with it. Maybe it's not enough to make a big project, and so you're trying to think of something you can use it for. This would be a great project, and you don't use a lot. You really don't use a lot. This was a 50 gram skein. I've not weighed it, but I mean, you can see I can get another hat out of that for sure. And also maybe you haven't tried mohair before, but you really want to, but you're not sure what project. So this might spur you on to go and hunt some mohair down somewhere that you can get a couple of hats out maybe. I mean, depending on what size you're knitting, you could easily get 2 or 3 hats, depending if maybe you're going to knit a hat for yourself and a child size hat. But if I'm honest, you probably get 2 adults out of that anyway, and you might even have more left over, just depending on your tension and what size you're knitting. It might be that you really like the look of mohair, but it makes you itch. So because this isn't mohair, because you don't use the mohair along this rib section, the mohair is actually going to be on your head. So it shouldn't really irritate you like that, because this is going to be around your ears and your face. I just think it's such a really cool idea, and so I'm so happy that we're going to be doing a KAL. So the Ravelry thread is up. I've started off with a chatter thread. It's just going to be a real simple knit along, and then in a few days time I will pop up a finished objects thread. I'm probably going to run it for about 6 weeks, I think. See what you think, by which time some of you, I mean, this took days to make, it doesn't take long at all, it's a really short project. It might be that you make multiple ones. It might be that you think to yourself, do you know what, I'm going to make a head start on some gift knitting, I'm going to join in and I'm going to make some hats for some friends, for some family members, for Christmas, or maybe they've got a birthday coming up. Again, this would be a great opportunity to get a head start on some gift knitting. And what else? Let me just look at my notes a minute so that I make sure I've mentioned everything. Let's have a look. I think I did. I think the only thing that I wrote down that I've not mentioned is, so at the minute, if you head over to the Ravelry, you will find the chatter thread, and then I'll just put a description in there, a little bit about the knit along. Like I said, it's going to be a real simple knit along. There's not really going to be any hardcore rules or anything, but just go over and have a little read. And it'd be lovely for you to add maybe some pictures of your yarns that you're using. I mean, you can really have some fun deciding what yarns what mohair and what yarn you're going to use. I mean, you can see I've tried to like match mine up, but you could literally go contrasting. You could go like for a real fun, colourful mohair that has lots of colour, lots of speckles in it, and maybe a plain yarn. I bet that would be really nice actually. So that would be really lovely if you show that over on the chatter thread as well. But please keep your finished pictures when you take them, save them for the finished objects thread. So like I say, I will probably have that up in a few days, the finished objects thread. And it'd be lovely if you are on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram at the minute, I'm still taking my break. But if you are on Instagram and you post a picture, because it's nice to spread the love, isn't it, and show other people what you're working on, and maybe it might be that they want to join in the fun as well. I thought we'll just go for a really simple hashtag, and that is, I bet you can't guess it, Simple Pleasures Hat KAL. Again, I will pop that on the screen and I'll pop it down below and also in the Ravelry thread. And that's that. I'm going to chat to you about some prizes that have been kindly donated, but before I do that, I just want to say a little bit about the pattern. I've made little notes here. So you can, if you want, you can make it as slouchy as you want to make it. If you don't like a slouchy beanie and you prefer it quite fitted on your head, you can do. It depends really on how long you knit this section with the mohair. Again, the pattern will say knit this section for how many inches depending on what size you're knitting. For the small adult, it said knit 6¼ inches, and I got to 6 and felt like that was enough for me, by which time I could try it on. And I didn't want it too slouchy. Shall I try and put it on? Because I bet you're all going, put the hat on. How does it look with like my hair knocked down? I bet it looks odd, doesn't it? Feels really comfortable. I didn't put a pom-pom on it, but you could put a pom-pom on it if you wanted to. And it does say to use a US 5, which is a 3.75 needle to cast on and to knit this section. And I'm sure it's for this section. Again, you'll have to go back and read the pattern. I didn't have any 3.75, so don't panic. You don't have to go out and buy needles for it, because if you've got some 3.5s at home, which I so happened to have, I just use that. And then you move up to a size US 6, which is a size 4 for this section. I'm sure it's for the mohair section. Let's take it off now. Now I'm going to have hat hair. So that was the other thing I wanted to mention about the needles. But again, you can chat amongst yourselves in the chatter thread. It's there for you to chat about what needles you're using, what size you're using, your yarns. I can't wait to see all the different fun yarns you make. All the fun yarn combinations and hats you make. So it'd be lovely if you do post anything on Instagram and you want to use that hashtag. That would be great. So I'm going to show you a lovely prize. I'm going to go and get it, and if you would like to donate a prize for our new Simple Pleasures hat KAL, that would be fantastic. If you are a yarn dyer, if you make project bags, stitch markers, a pattern designer, and you'd like to donate something for the knit along, please drop me an email and you'll be able to find my details down below. I'm just going to go and grab the prize and I will be back. I was contacted by the lovely Camilla, who has the podcast Cammy Jo Knits, and Camilla sent me a lovely email and she offered a prize for the KAL, which was fantastic. And then I went and binged watching lots of Camilla's vlogs, her podcast. She's in Denmark. I love her style. She's a knitwear designer. She's lovely. She loves her journaling. It's lovely. I love her setup when she records. Her background looks lovely. So I will pop details where you can find her down below, but pop across and watch her channel. It's lovely. It's really, really lovely channel. So here's a card that she popped in, and it was wrapped so beautifully. So Camilla has very kindly, from her shop, so on her website you can purchase her patterns. They're in Danish and they're in English, and you can purchase project bags, which I'm sure she said that her aunt makes them. She picks the fabrics and her aunt makes them. They are beautiful. She makes progress keepers. She makes stitch markers. She is so clever. She makes stickers. Right, let me, and everything was packaged lovely. So she has popped in this beautiful project bag. I love these tags. This neon peachy coral tag is so cool. Love that. And this is a corduroy. I'm sorry, I just have to say it like that. It has a lovely floral lining inside, which is really pretty. It has, oh, it's got quite a few. 1, 2, it's got 3 pockets inside. Feels really lovely and soft as well. And what a fab design. It has handles. It has these really lovely thick handles, and it's a drawstring. Isn't that really lovely? Thank you so much, Camilla. I have thanked Camilla. It's lovely, really, really lovely. And it's a lovely size. So this size would be great for a shawl. Easily get a few skeins in here. Trying to look for skeins to put in there. But anyway, you'd get a few in there. It's a really generous size project bag. Then she also popped in some stitch markers and progress keepers. Sorry about the rustling. She also popped in some stitch markers. Now, which ones did I say that I was going to keep? She very kindly said I could keep some. Right, I think that's what I'm keeping. And then these are all lovely. Okay, these are all, let me show you these first. So these are the stitch markers, which, and again, you can purchase these from her shop. You've got those ones. They're really nice. Some silver ones with some colourful beads. You've got some gold ones there and some bronze ones. And then you've got a couple of stitch markers as well. And then we were chatting about stationery and journaling, and I said how much I love her stickers, and she popped some stickers in as well for me. And you can purchase these on her shop. Look at these, how fun do they look? And these here, they look. And she's drawn these herself and painted them. And then a couple of the feathers, just so clever. And what I really like about Camilla's vlogs, she shows you making, there is a vlog where she shows you making these. It's just really cool, the whole process, how she shares it with you. So thank you so much. I'll keep them to one side. And then these are the ones that, the stitch markers that I'm going to keep myself. Beautiful, thank you. So, what a lovely prize. What a lovely, lovely prize. Let me try and pop that there. So, this is going to be, I might split the stitch markers up, I'm not sure yet. I might do it so that I put a stitch marker with some progress keepers together. I'm not sure yet. I'll do it so I might be able to get a couple of prizes out of that one. But thank you, Camilla. That is going to be such a lovely prize to send to somebody. And Camilla kindly offered, she's offered up 2 of her patterns as well, which would be lovely. Thank you, Camilla. So let me pack that away and I'll be back. I forgot, I was going to show you this mohair and say that for my next Simple Pleasures hat, I'm going to use this mohair that I've got left over. And I'm going to go and find some colourful yarn, and I might make one of the children's sizes and make it for Jessie because she loves hats. And I'm not going to give it to her. I'm gonna make a head start on my gift knitting as well, and I'm probably going to make it for her for Christmas. So I'm going to go find some colourful yarn for that one, and that'd be really fun. And that'd be really quick. I mean, the children's, if you're gonna make one of the children's sizes, if you're a fast knitter, I reckon you could make that in a day. Knitter. Proper West Country girl. Right. Let's have a look. So I have been contacted by a lovely lady called Kylie. let's have a look. I did write it here. Let me turn my page over because I'm trying to keep a track of prize donations. So I've chatted to you, I've shown you the lovely prize that Camilla sent in, and then Bex has kindly offered a couple of copies of her Liberty Lace pattern. And then I was contacted by a lovely lady called Kylie, and you can find her on Ravelry. Her name is, her name, like her design name that she goes by, is Home on 15 Acres. Again, I'll pop all the details down below. She's based in Australia, and she very kindly contacted me and said she would love to donate a couple of her patterns for the knit along. So thank you very much, Kylie. And I think she's going to have a new pattern coming out soon as well. And when I popped over and had a look at her lovely patterns, she has some shawls that she's designed where she's taken inspiration from the Sarah J Maas A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I thought that was really cool. And she's got a new one coming out soon as well. So that was a lovely, another kind donation. And Hannah from Yarnia Designs very kindly contacted me a while ago now and said she'd love to donate a copy of her festive cheer KAL. And that, for someone like me who loves scrappy projects, that is going to be cast on soon, I can tell you that, because she very kindly sent me a copy as well. Yeah, that is going to be a new project which I will be casting on soon. So thank you, ladies. And yeah, if you'd like to get in touch and donate a prize, that'd be fantastic. So I think I've covered everything there. Again, pop over to my Ravelry. You'll find links down below. You'll find a chatter thread that's up. And any questions, pop on, start chatting. You can email me, or you can comment down below if you've got any questions. And let's have fun. Let's have fun. Right, I think we've done all the, well, I was going to say all the knitting chatter, which we kind of have, but we're going to move on to Happy Mail now. I've got something else to show you. Right, let me sip this. Okay. I was probably meant to show you this. Well, this will probably lead on to one of the Happy Mails that I'm going to chat to you about, but yeah, we'll do, actually. I did a swap with Bex, and Bex contacted me. This is Bex Creates, and she's a lovely designer who does design the Liberty Lace socks. And she contacted me just after Christmas, I think it was, and asked if I would like to do a swap. And it was such a fun swap because we saved, when we sent our boxes to each other, we saved them and we did a FaceTime and we opened them up together, and it was really lovely. And then we spent a little bit of time just chatting and knitting. It was really lovely, actually. And I'm going to share with you all the lovely things that Bex sent me. I've kept them in here. She did send me some sweet treats, but yeah, you can probably guess that they're not in here. They've already been eaten. But she knows how much I love art, love drawing, and she got me this really lovely fun art tote, and it's really, really nice. It's a lovely quality canvas, and it's got this really nice design on the front, and it's by Jibby Roo Sews. Oops, let me try and show you the label. There. And let's get rummaging. Well, that is true, isn't it? Craftiness is happiness. Definitely. And then I got a cool little like a little magnet, and it says buying yarn is my superpower. Oh dear. I think I'm gonna have to add a new section to the podcast that says confessions. because I feel like in a minute we're going to have to do that. We're going to have some confessions. These lovely cards, these prints by Abby Quinn Prints. And look at that one. And this is called The Flock, which is so cool. And this one, and Beck said that this one's actually inspired by her. I'm sure Bex said that Abby is her niece. I'm sure she said, I might have that really wrong. I think I got that right. I think it is. But this particular design is inspired by Bex, and I love that. It's called Cozy Knitting. And oh, isn't that lovely? So she popped in those for me. There. She knows how much I love mulled wine. I could drink mulled wine all through the year. I love it that much. I don't, but I could. She didn't put mulled wine in, but she put in some mulled cider by Bird and Blend. What a fun packet. How cool does that look? I haven't tried that yet. How cool would this look in fabric? And you know what I'm going to say, don't you? That would make a real fun project bag. Thank you. Oh, pen, because you can never have too many pens. Craftiness is happiness. This really sweet pin that has lots of art supplies on it in like a little pot, and it's got an S on it. And this is by heartofful.co.uk. I think they might be on Instagram. That's really cool. Oh, look at these stitch markers by Yarnistry. Now they've gone, oh. If you've got an OCD, you might want to look away. That this is going to like freak you out, but oh, that's really bugging me. I've got it is a paint palette, and look at all those little individual brushes with different colour paint on the end of the bristles. That is the coolest thing ever. That is seriously cool. This is by Yarnistry, and you can find Yarnistry on Etsy, and they have their own web shop, Facebook and Instagram. Love them. And then I'm going to show you the lovely yarn that's in here. Bex put she had these in her stash, and she thought they looked like crayons. They look really sweet, don't they? And they are on Silver Stellina. What's really fun is I don't have many tonal yarns, and most of, if not all of my yarns are speckled or like variegated, and like solids or tonals are great for colour work, or if you want a contrasting heel, cuff or toe. So love them. Thank you so much. They are so sweet. Then this gorgeous yarn, which is by Somerset Yarns, and this is in the colourway Oil Slick, and she put one of my friends and fave dyers. I thought it could be like oil paints. So Bex kind of went with the theme, like an arty theme, which was so clever and so thoughtful. Look at those speckles. This. Right, the Warburton's van is now outside. Not because I've got a delivery of Warburton's bread or anything, but we live near a shop, and that comes with pros and cons. Con being that you get vans parked outside your house. Okay, that was a bit not. Oh, Doesn't he know that I'm filming a podcast? He's going to be noisy now, isn't he? Right, I'll wait for him to finish unloading all the bread. Does anybody need any bread? Let me know. Bread, rolls, crumpets. Oh, I love a crumpet. Love crumpets. Don't love cold mint tea. Big no-no. I think he stopped making a bit of noise now. I can't remember what I'd said before I realised he was being noisy, but isn't this beautiful? And Tracy from Somerset Yarns has so many beautiful colourways in her shop. There's currently 3 of her yarns I've got in my Etsy basket. One of them's called Lightning Rainbow, and which is has blues and lots of other fun colours in there. Another one which is also blue, but it's a different tone of blue, it's a bit deeper, and I've got lots of and that has lots of colourful speckles in it. And the other one is denim. Oh, what was it called? Psychedelic denim or something like that. And I think it, when it knits up, it micro stripes. It looks so cool. Also have that in my basket as well. Oh dear. But that is going to be so much fun. That is going to be socks probably. Love it. And this is on her 75 Superwash Merino 25% nylon. So thank you so much, Bex. Obviously I thanked Bex as I was opening everything. And one of the things that I made for Bex, which I also made for myself, was another project bag. And I wanted to make, Bex loves bright neon colours, she just loves colour. And so I kind of went with like a bright summery thing. And I made her a project bag, and because again it was a fat quarter, there was enough for me to make one as well. And it's in this really cool print with these cans of pop. I call fizzy drink pop. I don't know if that's like an age thing, because I said it to my 13-year-old the other day, and I said, oh, do you want to go in the shop and get a bottle of pop? And he looked at me and he's like, Mum, nobody, he speaks, Mum, nobody calls it pop. You're like the only person that calls it pop. My mum says it's pop. It's like a bottle of pop. Anyway, fizzy drinks, cans of fizzy drinks. And I just love the colours. And when I made Bex one, I made myself one. So now I've shown that to you, I'll be able to use that for something, won't I? I was a bit naughty. So this is probably going to be confession time. And if you kind of rewind a few episodes, I was saying that I'm going to just use for my stash, that I've got plenty of yarn, which I do have, but I can't help but buy beautiful yarn. I can't help it. Confession time. I was looking on Ravelry. I think I was looking at commercial yarns and saw this lovely yarn. Someone had knitted a pair of socks in it. Then I went to have a look for it and couldn't find it anywhere, and then soon realised it's discontinued, which is like shock horror. But it's by, and so this is probably going to annoy you, but I'm going to show it to you because you never know, you might be able to get hold of some, or there might be like a yarn store near you that still stocks it. But this is by KAL, and it is their zigzag sock from their sock range. I have not tried any of their zigzag range, and it was this colourway that I had to get, and this is in the colourway Dolly Mix. Its shade number is 3012, and let me tell you, when this knits up, it creates the most funkiest of patterns. It looks so cool. I had to get it. I had to get it. I found this on eBay. I bought it from someone must have just been selling from their stash, and I managed to get it on eBay for a real good price. So that's the first confession. then it led on to this. Now this wasn't bought on a whim or anything. This was a yarn that again had been sitting in my Etsy basket for a couple of months, a long time. And it got to the point where there was only one skein of it left, and I could just tell it wasn't a colourway that was going to be repeated again. It might be, but other colourways had come in, sold, and they'd been repeated again. But I just got it because it was that one skein that I instantly loved, and I kept thinking about it, and I thought, just get it, because you're going to go on there and you're going to wish you got it and you'll be gutted. And it's by the yarn dyer in the crochet corner, UK yarn dyer. And it's in the colourway Gone Giddy, and it's on her 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And it just reminds me of like Halloween, but like fun. Like, look at those colours. I think it's gorgeous. Look at these speckles. Such a fun. Now I was going to say I'm just going to knit socks with it, but I don't know. I was having this conversation with a friend, saying that, isn't it fun how you can, if you love colour, you can kind of get away with knitting socks with bright colourful yarns like this. But if you're a little bit more reserved wearing colour, in the sense that you may not want to wear a shawl made out of that, you may prefer something like this, which is a bit plainer and a bit simpler, that would go maybe more with your wardrobe. For instance, like you can see like the hat that I've made, that shawl, the Felix that I'm making is like a soft blush colour. So this is like an opportunity for you, that if you just love colour and you just want to knit something really colourful, socks are just fun, aren't they? You can get away with experimenting with colour. But saying that, I do have my Free Your Fade shawl, and that's a colourful shawl, and that's really lovely. You could make mitts, you could crochet some mitts or knit some like hand warmers, wrist warmers with like colourful yarn. There's lots of ways that you can still enjoy knitting with beautiful colourful yarn, and it not necessarily be like, the chances are I would never knit that and make that into like a sweater or something, because I probably wouldn't wear it. I don't think I would wear it, but I do love colour and I do love wearing colourful things. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know. That is that confession. Beautiful yarn. And then, I think it's Julia is the lady, the yarn dyer, Julia. Yeah, she popped in. I've tried this one before, it's really nice. Chamomile flower. I'm growing chamomile this year. Lime flower, elderflower and marigold flower. Licorice root, love licorice. Rose flower and lavender flower. Yummy. Thank you. And then this was my first, so that was my first ever in the crochet corner yarn purchase. Again, I've favorited a few of Julia's yarns. Beautiful, beautiful yarns. And then I saw that Hayley from Ducky Darlings, and this is my first ever yarn purchase from Hayley, and she had on her sister sets. I instantly fell in love with them. And there was another set that she had, it sold out. I absolutely loved that set. It was called Tangerine. And yeah, I hope she does it again. Such a cool, again, really bright and funky, really cool. But these are these are called her sister sets, and she has some really fun colours. So again, I'll pop details down below. And you basically get 2 50-gram skeins of yarn. You get one which has which is like variegated, and then you get a tonal. And then the idea is you can stripe them, you can depending on what like size sock you're knitting, you could knit most of it with this one and then use this one, like the tonal solid colour. You can use that for the cuffs, for the heels, for the toes. But it's, oh, I love it. Look at all the colours. Let's see if I can do that. So clever. And this one is beautiful, this shade. It doesn't have it's not, they're not called, it's not like this particular duo does not have like a colourway name. That's beautiful, beautiful. So I think that's so lovely. And you can find Hayley, she popped in her card. You can find Hayley on Instagram, Facebook, and on her website, which is duckydarlingsyarn.com. And that is my last yarn confession. Yes, it is. And then, before I move on to TV and books, I thought a fun little section that I'm going to add to the podcast is shopping my stash. And I thought this would be something that you can all do and you can all join in. And I thought it'd be fun. And now I'm saying that out loud, I'm thinking I might just put up a thread in Ravelry. Just an ongoing thread. So every time I record a podcast, beforehand, I'm gonna shop my stash and I'm gonna pull out one skein of yarn that I have a project in mind for. And it's lovely because then it reminds me what I have. And sometimes if I feel like, oh, I need to get that yarn, I stop myself and I go and have a look at all the lovely yarns that I have and think, no, you don't need it. And that's a real good thing to do. If you feel yourself like you've got to buy something, you can go upstairs and you've already bought it. It's great. So I have got this lovely yarn living in my Cocoa and Flora project bag, which was very kindly made for me and sent to me by the lovely Eva. And Eva has a lovely Etsy shop and she makes beautiful project bags. Go over and have a look. It's lovely. I love how she always thinks of everything, and she had the little extra detail is lovely, and how she wraps things up is so lovely. And Eva has a YouTube channel as well. I have had this yarn in my stash for a very long time, and it's because it's that skein of yarn that you've got, that you're cherishing, that you love, but I'm gonna use it. You need to use the yarns that you love. You need to do it. So this is in the colourway Hagrid, and this is by Felt Fusion, and I'm a sucker for any yarn that's inspired by Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. And this is on her superwash merino and nylon sock, and it is going to be socks. And so once I have cast off my share a pair socks, this is going to be my next sock cast on. I can't wait to see how this knits up. I'm really, really looking forward to getting that on my needles. So that's my shopping my stash yarn. And then next time I'll have another one. And I just thought that'd be really fun. So if you want to play along with that and think to yourself, once a month you're going to look through your stash and think to yourself, you're going to pull out a skein of yarn and think, I'm going to make something with it. You're going to make a pair of socks, you're going to make a hat, you're going to make some mitts, but you're going to cake it up and you're going to use it. You're going to get a project bag and you're going to use it. So I thought that was a fun little thing that we could do. I think that is finally all of the yarny knitting chat. And now I'm going to move on to TV and books. What are we doing time-wise? Oh dear. chat. Where's the books? I've got a big pile of books that I want to chat to you about. Chat to you about these books in a bit. But first of all, I'm just going to say that I think on the last episode, I was still in the middle of A Court of Mist and Fury, and I said to you that I thought it'd gone a little bit slow. It picked up. It literally got to the end of the book, and I made myself read it, and yeah, it picked up, and it was a really good ending. It was really, really good, and so now it's wanting me to read the next two books, which obviously I will, because it's in a part, like a series. So really, really glad that I finished that, but also looking forward to picking up the next book. I have since listened on Audible to The Tattooist of Auschwitz, which then led me on to listen to Silke's Journey. Two amazing stories, both very, very hard to listen to, but still it's tricky how to word it, because I want to say that I enjoy listening or reading those types of books, but what I mean by that is I think it's really important to still read about, you know, how can I word it? It's a particular genre that I still find that I still want to learn and read more about, because I think it's still important that people's stories still live on. And for me, I really, really enjoy reading stories that are based around World War II. So if you've read any particular stories around, I listened to Birdsong, and that was World War One. Have read a couple of stories that are based around World War One, but I tend to favour World War Two. So if there's any stories or books that you've read that were based around that time, please leave your recommendation down below, because I would love to find some more books that I could read. I've also got a copy of Alone in Berlin, which I hadn't realised that actually was made into a film with two British actors, and now I can't remember their names. That was an amazing story. Anne Frank's Diary. I've got a copy of the book. I've listened to that on Audible. I cry. Every time that I read that, I cry. Or listen to it, I cry. But again, it doesn't put me off reading it or listening to it. I think it's still really important to remember that time. Yeah, so finish them. And then I've downloaded and I've just started listening to The Whisper Man by Alex North, and that was a recommendation by a lovely subscriber, a viewer of the podcast. I think there was actually two of you might have recommended that one, so thank you. And the narrator for that one, the voice is it Christopher Eccleston? I think it is. Again, if you listen to a lot of audiobooks, you'll probably be in agreement with me, where you have to listen to a sample first, because sometimes you'll start listening and you just, you know, you can't listen to it, because not everyone's, I guess we don't enjoy listening to everyone's voice. So I know sometimes you have to listen to a sample first, don't you, to think if you can carry on listening to it. But yeah, so thank you for that recommendation. And I'm now reading The Woman in White, and I'm doing that as a read along with my friend Jodie. We're actually knitting our socks, which I showed you, and we're we're doing a sock and read along. That's fun. And then another little read along that I'm doing with a friend is this one. So I picked The Family Upstairs, and we both read that one, loved that. And then my friend Stacey, it was her turn to pick, and she picked this one, and it's called The Impossible Girl. And it's in 19th century New York, a woman's secret could be the death of her. And it says, Manhattan, 1850, born out of wedlock to a wealthy socialite and a nameless immigrant, Cora Lee can mingle with the rich just as easily as she can slip unnoticed into the slums and graveyards of the city. As the only female resurrectionist in New York, she's carved out a niche procuring bodies afflicted with the strangest of anomalies. Anatomists will pay, oh my days. Stacey, you've picked a right book here, love, haven't you? I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce the other words. Exorbitant. Yeah, no. So basically, it's going to be a bit gory, I reckon. But I'm up for reading that. So I've got that one. And this other one that so I bought that one from Amazon. I bought that copy from Amazon. And where my littlest goes to preschool, which is in the grounds of like a church, there's like a little, it's really cool. And chances are there might be something similar to where you live. And there's like a little cabinet there, and it's for you to, it's encouraging you to do like a little book swap. So you can open up the cabinet, and if there's a book there that you like, you can take it. And then if you've got any books that you want to donate and pop in the cabinet, you can. Or once you've read your book and you finished it, you can pop it back in again. And I saw this one, which is an Agatha Christie. I would love to read more Agatha Christie. And this is called The Sitterford Mystery. And I hadn't realised until I got home that it's actually, the story is based in Dartmoor, which is really close to me. It's it says here, in a remote house in the middle of Dartmoor, 6 shadowy figures huddle around a table for a séance. Tensions rise as the spirits spell out a chilling message. And then I like that on the back of these books, there's like a list of other stories. And I know lots of them are just there. They are standalone stories. So it doesn't matter if you pick one up and it's not. You don't have to read it in order. Yeah, so I'm excited about that one. And then I popped, now the shops are open. I haven't made it to a charity shop yet where I can look around at all like the little knickknacks. But there is one that has lots and lots of books. And so I went there the other day and I was trying to look at the books. I did have Jessie with me. She is 3 and she couldn't understand why I was taking so long, because she said to me, Mummy, just pick a book. Just pick a book. Doesn't matter, just pick a book. And I was like, yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. But I got these 3 for £1. And I know lots of you love to read on like a Kindle, and I do have a Kindle. I love a Kindle because it's so lightweight. You may not necessarily want to carry one of these, you know, especially like a big hardback book. You may not want to carry it around, but this wouldn't be something I'd carry around with me. I would just read this at home. But £1 for 3 books. I don't really need to say any more, do I? Now, I have had this on my list to read. This is a really old book. This is Flowers in the Attic. And yeah, I've heard really good things about this. But I looked at the size of the font. That's going to hurt your eyes, isn't it? Hopefully that'll be okay for me. That's one thing I never do, is check like the font when I open it up. I'm sure that'll be fine. So Flowers in the Attic, let me know if you've read this one. And of course, if you've read any of these, let me know. And then another one talking about like stories based around, you know, in the world when it was World War II. I had this one and I've just realised it's not me. but it looks like whoever read this book was enjoying a cup of tea or coffee at the time. Fair enough. And this is called Winter in Madrid, and it says, if you like Sebastian Faulks, you'll love this. And it says, 1940, after the Spanish Civil War, Madrid lies ruined, its people starving as Germany continues its relentless march through Europe. Britain now stands alone. Into this uncertain world comes Harry Brett, a traumatised veteran of Dunkirk, turned reluctant spy for the British Secret Service, sent to gain the confidence of old school friend Sandy Forsyth, now a shady Madrid businessman. Harry finds himself involved in a dangerous game and surrounded by memories. So that's going to be probably one that I might pick up soon, actually, once I've finished my read-alongs. And then the final book that I wanted to chat to you about is by Paula. Days. Really do struggle with my words, don't I? Paula Hawkins, and this is Into the Water. And I read The Girl on the Train. Not sure if anyone else has read that one. I'm sure you have. It's a really popular book, and I've had this one on my list to read as well for a while, so I got that as well. And now you can hear somebody reversing outside. So let me know if you've read any of them, and if you have any book recommendations for me and for one another, because that's another thing that's really great about looking through your comments, because if you enjoy reading books as well, scroll through, because if you've kind of hit a bit of a slump and you're not sure what to read at the minute, there's so many really good suggestions. Like I say, I'm going to put I think I might have mentioned this earlier, I'm going to put up a thread in Ravelry. It's just going to be called Book Chatter, and you can pop on. I'd love to know what you're reading at the minute. Use it, right? You know, again, another word I can't say, but pop on every time you're reading a book. Pop on. You can add a picture if you want. Say if you're enjoying it, if you're not enjoying it, if you're looking for suggestions, if there's certain genres you really like. Yeah, so that's going to be another little thread that I'm going to pop up in the Ravelry. And I think that's it. Oh no, it's TV, and we're nearly done. And do you know what's really, really comical? I thought this was going to be a shorter one again today, but it's not, is it? No. So TV, I have been watching, I'm just going to say, Line of Duty. And I'm just going to say, no comment. Disappointed. What else? But Line of Duty. Oh, we're watching The Blacklist. That is a really fun series, and I was surprised to see that there's quite a few seasons for The Blacklist. So we are now on season 2. I think there's like 7 or 8 or even more. So, and there's lots of episodes within each of those seasons. So I'm really happy about that. I am waiting for A Handmaid's Tale. I am so jealous. If you are in the US, I think you're already watching it. And let me tell you, I am very, very jealous and excited. I just cannot wait for it to be available here in the UK. If you are in the UK, and I read it wrong. I thought it was coming out over here. But when I then went on to have a look again, I think it was Hulu, which I don't think we can get here. It's not a channel that's on my telly. Oh my days, did you hear that? That's my tummy. What is it? It wants a snack bar. I need to feed my tummy. If you're in the UK and you've managed to find a date that Handmaid's Tale is gonna air here over in the UK, please let me know, because I cannot wait for that to come out. I watched a little teaser clip and that looks amazing. What else? I've started to watch Mayor of Easttown, I think it's called, with Kate Winslet. She is amazing. She plays the most amazing detective. Just love her to bits. She is an amazing actress. So I've started watching that. I think that's on Sky Atlantic. There's not much that I've been watching on Netflix, so please, by all means, let me know if there's any like series. I've watched quite a few things on there, but let me know if there's anything that you're watching that you're really enjoying, because it might be something that I've not watched yet. And I think that's a wrap. I think I managed to get through everything. Thank you again for taking time out of your very busy day, very busy life, because I know we're all busy with lots of things, doing lots of things, and I really appreciate that you take the time to spend some time with me and listen to all the Cherie waffle that I managed to just divulge. And it's lovely to hear what you are working on, what you're reading, what you're watching. It's just lovely to hear from you, so thank you. And I will look forward to seeing all your lovely hats and or reading all your chats, all your little messages that you're going to leave in the Simple Pleasures hat cowl, reading your book suggestions, shopping your stash. It's going to be fun. So I wish you a wonderful weekend if you are watching this at the weekend. You might be watching this during the week. But whenever you are watching it, I hope you have a lovely day.